In this video, you will learn how to use Circuit Wizard to create a circuit diagram with a title block to the British standard. Now in this clip you will see that I'm referring to certain documents that may not be applicable for your specific unit or assignment, so you will have to just bear with me. This video is obviously primarily for my students, but it's also helpful if you are just wanting to know how to create the title block to the British standards, and this is obviously my interpretation of it. So first thing first, I am going to be referring to a particular tutorial which can be found from the internet, and if you just put in PCB Wizard tutorial 1 Christiani SRL, he has this. So if you download this, and the PDF that comes up should be something similar to this. Now when it comes up, I'm going to do this in a split screen, and I'm not going to go through the whole tutorial, but I'll just get you started, because with a lot of tutorials on how to use Circuit Wizard, they tend to be quite basic. So I'm just going to give you an overview of the key things when you're starting this. Now I like to make sure it's full screen, so I'll just minimize that ribbon there, and I'm going to make it so it's half the screen. So this tutorial we will just begin by going over, and the other file you need to create is the Circuit Wizard file, the software itself. So you want to make sure that's taken up half the screen. So when you load Circuit Wizard, it comes up with this dialog box, and you just want to close that down, and you want to go to File, you want to go to New, and this can stump you a little bit because in the tutorials it doesn't say which one to choose. So I recommend you go with Circuit with Genie Flowchart, click on OK, and then you should come up with the screen there. Now the first thing you need to do is, according to this, you need to start looking into the gallery. So the gallery is up here, and as it says here, you want to first and foremost add, as we go down here, you want to add the battery. And it does talk about circuit symbols. Again, I think this is based on a different version, so for you, if you can't get this dialog box on the side, you just need to click on the icon there which says gallery, so that shows and hides this gallery option here. So once you've done that, it says you need to get power supplies, and you can find it here, but if we get into a good habit of trying to find power supplies from the appropriate box or folder, I should say. So power supplies, and then it comes up with a variety of different types of components. So you want to click and drag and drop this in. So once we've dropped this in, then you can look at the next task that you need to do. So the next task says that you need to look for the variable resistor. So you go to the appropriate section that you find variable resistor. So it says it's in the input components, so find input components, which is there, and then it's there. So you click and drag, and ideally what you want to be doing is, if you look over here, you want to make sure that you put into some sort of plan, as you can see there. Now that will make sense as you go through the rest of the tutorial. I'm just gonna do one more, which is going to be the resistor. So the resistor, it says resistors from passive components, so we need to find passive components there. We've got the resistor there, we bring the resistor there, and then you can see this resistor, it does actually talk about it when you go down, and it says here that if you want to rotate, you have it selected, and then you click on the rotate option there, and that enables you to rotate. Now I think you should be fine going through the rest of this tutorial by yourself if you are a total novice to Circuit Wizard. But what I wanted to really demonstrate for you guys listening, and I'm just gonna make this full screen out, is how, so I'm gonna close this down as well. open up a circuit that was made earlier. So we have the circuit board there. Now if it comes up with something like this, all you need to do is just click on towards the bottom left there where it says circuit diagram. If you click on that, it makes it into circuit. Now this has already been done, so this is a bit of a cheat, but if you wanted to have this title block, all you need to do is go to title block, and normally this option is not selected. So if I click on OK, normally this is what your work looks like. So this is an example of circuit that was done. So let me try that again. So go to project, and then go to title block, and then I go to add title block, and in this title block it's asking me to fill in a variety of different bits of information. Now what do you need to write here? Now the best place to look and to figure out what you need to write for title block, if you want it to the British Standard, is referring to the British Standards file, which you can again find from the internet. I have created a file which just has a snapshot of the mandatory bits for the for title blocks, and just to show you an example of what I made earlier, which again is related to my students primarily. And if you just bear with me, I am opening the file up so you can see. And there you have it. So if you are my students, you can find this file in your resource folder for the appropriate unit. So this is level 2. This is a tutorial primarily for my level 2 students. So for you, it'll be in unit 6 and in the resources folder, and it'll be under the circuit diagram exemplar, as you can see there. So this is what we need to refer to this to put the information into here. So I'm just going to minimize this. I'll have to cancel this. So really it is a case of just you having something to refer to, as you can see there, and just putting the information in. Now obviously you need to make sure that whatever you write as a title is related to the particular unit that you have to do. So in this case, for my level 2 students, the assignment that you are currently doing is assignment 1, and we should have put here unit 6, assignment 1, and the actual circuits that we have created, which if I go back to the PDF, I should be able to tell what it is. Okay, so let's see what the name of this is. Transistor sensing circuit. So transistor sensing circuits, and in the description, so if we look at the PDF example of the title block already made, so the key thing here is making sure that you have identification, as you can see in this example there. Just make it smaller, a bit out of the way there. So identification is important. Also important, which I've not made a mention of, but your font and writing needs to be in caps. Now with Circuit Wizard it's quite good because it does it automatically, but it's just a good habit to make sure that you do that if it wasn't an automatic process. So in terms of these things that I'm going to write down now, so identification number, just make a number up. It's not relevant if you are just practicing. You need to make sure that you have a sheet number. Again, this is one of the mandatory points that you have to do. Sheet number, and again, I can call this. I'm going to call this 2. It doesn't have to be. Now, because it's a limited program, Circuit Wizard, we can't actually get a lot of we can't add these extra columns and sections. So what we have to do is in the description box make the best use of this actual description dialog box to write all the information in there. So another key bit of information that you need to have is the approval person. So if you are my student, it would be myself, and then for subject you can say it's engineering level, whichever it is, 2 or 3. In this case it's level 2. The author, your name, company, your school name, whichever company you're working for, and you got revision there. So you should automatically add the date. You can also click on this to add the file name with the title block. We don't want that, and that is it. So let's click on OK. Let's see what happens. So you can see that it's coming out of this. The title is actually coming out of the title block there. So we may want to shrink that down. So I'm going to do that now, just to make sure it is smaller. So I'm going to shrink title block down, so I'll call it assignment, and let's see if that does the trick. Still a bit long, but anyway, you get the idea there. Okay, so that's within there. Now you notice that that circuit is out of this border. So what you need to do is move this so it's in the center. So you can select all using the bounding select tool, and the way you've got to move this is by selecting a component and then clicking and dragging. So I'm going to click on the circuit, sorry, the integrated circuit, the chip there, and just move into place. So somewhere central where it looks nice, and that's done. Now when you do it, when you click on the tab block, it may be set as preset as A4, and if you wanted to change the layout and the size, you would need to go to File, and you would not need to go to Page Setup. You'd make sure that the page size is A3, and you need to make sure it's landscape. And then as well as that, you'd also need to go to Page Setup, and you'd also need to make sure that it's on A3 and landscape. So you need to do it twice. Now because we want to print this, and we want to print this so it's a digital copy, you want to go to Foxit Reader PDF printer, and it's already set up there. And then when you click on OK, we click OK, it should print as a PDF. So it takes a bit of time. Okay, it's done. So it's okay, maybe it hasn't done. So let's try that again. Print. Now it's asking me to save. So I'm going to refer to this as so this is P2, and it's related to unit 6. And you could obviously you would need to make sure that you've got your name here, so surname and then first name, unit 6, P2, click save, OK, and then when it prints it out, you have it in a nice formatted and laid out quite nicely. Now for the assignment, what you need to do is make sure that you put this into the Word document. Now the way to do that, a quick way of doing it, is using the snapshot tool and just clicking on the page, and it says, as it says there, select area has been copied to clipboard, and you click OK. Just to make sure that it has copied, I do Control C, and then when I go to my Word document, so when I go to the actual file, so Unit 6, and as you can see here, this is what we had to do. So we should have ticked all these boxes, use stand symbols. Circuit Wizard does most of this automatically, so we need to make sure we've printed, plotted a hard copy drawing, which is what we've done, and we need to paste this. So in this page below, so obviously task 1 that should have been done, so task 2, this is where we paste. How Circuit Wizard work, and you just need to make sure that it's pasted to full screen, as you can see there. So there you have it, that's all you need to know. And in terms of annotating, you can see most of the components have already been annotated, so you should be able to tell what each is. So it's R stands for resistor, and switch SW, and you kind of get the gist of it. And that's all.